right, Raj, great to be here. Thanks for having me. It's wonderful to be working with you and have a few minutes to talk with you about this exciting search for Lick-Wilmerding. Um, Before we get to the school, tell us a bit about yourself and your background and how you came to the school.
Yeah, thanks, Gabe. This is a great opportunity to share a bit about myself, about the school, about the position. Really excited about everything. Um, a bit about myself. I grew up in Massachusetts, and I've taught in schools around the world, in Switzerland, in Kenya, and in India. And I've been a part of networks of schools also around the world. Um, I've been before Lick. I've been at Phillips Academy, a boarding school north of Boston, for 27 years. I've always been a biology teacher and a football coach, and have lived in the dorm and in community with shared values, and that means a lot to me. And, and my wife is a kindergarten teacher. I have two grown children. And I'm really sort of drawn to communities whose values align with mine. And some of my values include service, include really having a diverse learning community, and living with integrity. These are all important things to me.
That's great. And I know those are values that I think are embedded in the Lick-Wilmerding culture. I should acknowledge to those who are watching, I'm an alum of the school, so I sort of have a personal affinity for the school. It's a wonderful place, wonderful community. Um, I think diversity is a foundational element to the school, and I think service both to the community and to the greater San Francisco Bay Area community and beyond is important. Maybe just talk about kind of, given your really just exciting background, what drew you to Lick and what you saw, because we should also tell folks who are watching, this is your first year. You started just earlier this summer, so you had a chance to get to know Lick as an applicant not too long ago. What did you learn about it that said, this is a place I want to be at?
Yeah. So, like I said, I've seen hundreds of schools around the world. I've been really fortunate to do that. And Lick is really pretty unique. And I'd start with the mission. There are two parts of the mission that I think are sort of the backbone for who Lick is now. One is they are unabashedly a private school with a public purpose. And a lot of schools use this phrase. It was Al Adams in the late 80s who coined the phrase, former head of school at Lick. And Al and I both had a similar mentor in Ted Sizer. And we talked a lot about the role of independent schools in America and the purpose of these schools to produce people who would be involved in their communities, who prioritize service and citizenship, and schools that had a rigorous curriculum, a diverse curriculum, a culture of belonging. These are all that Lick has held close to itself through its statement of being a private school with a public purpose. The other thing about Lick is this alignment of head, heart, and hand. And as you learn more about Lick, this is also, I think, a type of institutional and personal integrity to hold ourselves accountable to not only, what we learn and what we feel, but actually put things in action. And I would say Lick students, Lick faculty are very socially justice aware and active. And I think that that's very healthy. And so those two factors in the mission, and then as I've come to know the community, just an all-star group of faculty. 50% of the faculty have been here over 20 years. Many faculty cross bridges to get to school every day, as do students. And it's a remarkable commitment on behalf of the faculty and the kids who recognize Lick as a really unique independent school choice, and families as well, and come here to learn together.
Well said, and I do remember when Dr. Adams was actually installed as a headmaster, and he began to really message the school in a different way. And I think that does segue into this role here, in the sense that, you know, you're seeking a director of strategic communications to really to connect some of these themes, both to the internal constituents, to make sure you know, they're, you know, just staying abreast of what's happening, but also kind of, I think, hearing these important elements of the school, and then the vision of the school, where it's headed, but also to the broader community. And Lick has a place, a role, and a responsibility, I would say, almost at a national landscape, to really to share what it's doing, and to help bring these ideas forward. Can you talk about, you know, how you see this director of strategic communications partnering with you in this endeavor? And we should be very clear that this role will be reporting right to you, so they'll have a great chance to partner with you as a new head.
Yeah, no, thanks, Gabe. It is funny, you know, that you were here as the school was pivoting towards becoming, you know, who we are today, and that was a while ago. But you know, I think the elements are still true. It's been a difficult few years, I think, for all schools. At Lick, there was a major building construction project just prior to the pandemic, and that was, you know, disruptive. What's resulted from that, though, is an incredible complex here now, a really engaging sort of structure. I'm just so impressed with the building, the light, the sound, the spaces for kids to learn. After that, the pandemic, which was, you know, really hard for everybody. And then after that, the former full-time head, Eric Temple, had left, and then there was an interim head. And so I'm the new head, 3 heads in 3 years. And so what I'm really eager for Director of Communications to do with me is to recapture sort of the basic elements of the school, and to tell the story. And I think it's a compelling story. I think it is a story for students and faculty and staff to be a part of this community today. I know this is a place of self-discovery for everybody here. And to have that self-discovery be in a very diverse, inclusive community, over 65% students of color, over 50% faculty of color, really help, I think, everyone to learn more about themselves and their own identities. And then to have a center for civic engagement and a rigorous curriculum, and to consider service as a way of applying what you're learning, I think feels to me, as I talk to students and faculty, that the learning is meaningful, it's relevant, it's real. To have the technical shops here, you know, where the kids, the original makerspace of wood shop and metal and jewelry making and electronics, and to see deep engagement from kids in these areas, all are stories that need to be told and shared. And there's great opportunity to connect with all the different stakeholders, including alumni, including, you know, families, including folks at a national level. There's a lot of curiosity about what's happening at Lick, and I want my communications director to help share that story. And also to, you know, another part of this is, because we have such a diverse student body and set of families, to really be keenly aware of how we're messaging and how we're connecting with families and students from lots of different backgrounds. Those 2 elements are really important for me.
That's super. One final question I usually ask a head of school: tell me maybe a story about the school and a story about yourself, and I'll let you answer both if you wish. But I'm going to tell just a quick story about Lick that I think connects to what you just said. And if you want to focus on yourself, you can. And if you heard an early story about the school, you can hop in as well. But I was there when Aim High was founded by one of the history teachers there, and I just remember the Aim High is just this outstanding bridge program to help students in middle school, in public schools, ultimately get to college. It started from just a tiny little incubated summer program at Lick to now it has dozens of campuses across California and this very robust program to bridge that gap between middle school and the public school system all the way to college. And I just remember at the same time that Lick is starting this and Alec Lee was the founder. There he is also, playing guitar with the math teacher Steve Simon and just, having just the visual of seeing great ideas launch. Yet this is a school that just community does come first, and you'd roam the halls and you'd hear music playing and singing, and it just kind of had this great feel of like this is a school that does great things, but also there's a community that's right there that is warm and caring, and you enjoyed hanging out with your teachers and just spending time getting to know them, even as they were doing these amazing national projects. So that's my little story of Lick. But for sure, let's get a story about yourself, maybe something that folks wouldn't know about you from your background. And if you did hear any early stories of Lick, feel free to hop in there as well.
Yeah. So I had the opportunity to visit Lick 4 times last year, in sort of the lead up, to my start here. And I will say that the picture that you just painted of students and faculty connecting informally, formally, engaging in discussions of creative ideas is what I see, around campus. And it's not by coincidence. It's really intentional. I think there's a lot of energy and time that goes into really attracting fantastic students from all over the Bay Area to come here. An interesting aspect of Lick is there's a BART station right next to the school. We're right off of a highway. And so we're able to really draw on a really diverse set of students from the entire Bay Area. And when a school really prioritizes belonging with a diverse group of people, that opens up pathways, I think, for types of curiosity and creativity that show up in the classroom, that show up, in the extracurricular activities, that show up in the things that kids care about, and want to get after and advocate for. And so there is a real palpable energy. If you have an opportunity to come and see the school in person, when school's in session, you will feel it. And looking for a communications director who's going to be able to connect with that. This person's going to need to have some energy in order to sort of, connect with all the different stakeholders. A lot of people care deeply about the education here. You asked me to talk about myself, but these are all things that are really important to me, is what I would say. And I've seen them, in different spaces, but it's all coming together here at Lick. And so I'm really excited about this search. It's going to be my first hire. It's an important one. And I hope that the right people will be interested, and I look forward to engaging in discussion.
Thanks, Raj. Well, we look forward to working with you. It was great to spend a few moments here, and thanks so much for your time. I'm looking forward to working with you on the rest of the search. And in the meantime, good luck getting school open. Opening days are coming right around the corner, so hope that's going to be a smooth launch, and have a great rest of the summer.
Thanks, Gabe. Thanks for your partnership in this. It's really important to us.
Okay.